this is gonna be a really good video for me to watch because I'm a Norwegian and Norwegians has pretty much free healthcare. And this video is Indian and British doctors react to US medical bills. And I'm thinking like the US medical bills are just pure entertainment and horror combined into one. And I think this is gonna be very, 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 very interesting. And I think we're just gonna jump into it, and then I can do some comments along the way, you know? As a Norwegian with the free healthcare, woo!
$9,000, hey!
Dr. A. Bam, bam, bam. Dr.
Hey there,
A,
person watching YouTube. If you're new here, hi, my name is Ajay. I'm a doctor from India. If you're already subscribed, welcome back. I love you to the start.
Oh, he is Dr. A. I thought it was just like, this is Dr. A and this is Dr. B. But he is Dr. A.
And back. So healthcare in India, where I'm from, is of two types. It's either given by the government, which is cheap and very affordable, or it's in the private sector, which is not very affordable. But if there's one country in the world that's very notorious for being very unaffordable when it comes to healthcare, like if you don't have insurance, you're basically is the United States of America.
The land of the free. Hell yeah.
So today we'll be playing an interesting game of guessing American medical bills. Now these are real medical bills from real American hospitals. These were made for us by someone, and I'll be doing that with my good friend Dr. 𝗦cie𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀, who's a GP trainee here in the UK.
Cool.
Who went to medical school in the UK, who has been working in the NHS for over 3 years now. He also has an amazing channel on YouTube, so make sure you guys check it out after watching this video. So basically the rules of the games are this. So I think there are around 4 to 5 bills, real American bills, and both me and Kiran, we're gonna take a look at it and we're gonna try to guess based on what we think it would cost. I think mine is going to be a bit different because I have worked in private sector in India, so it's still a bit expensive. You know, at least by Indian standards, it's expensive. Kiran has only worked in the NHS. Basically in NHS, most of the things are free. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how much we both guess these prices as. I know it's going to be bad, but how bad are these bills?
Oh my god, this is gonna be great. Oh, I love Indian English. Yeah, me too. Indian English is so good. I love it. It's fantastic. It's giving me some kind of peace. I don't know. I feel like Norwegian English, like I do, it's more like hanana, hanana, hanana. Hanana. That is Norwegian English, and Norwegian English isn't as cool. It's just not great. But the Indian English, it has a good, nice flow to it, and I like it. But I feel like either they're gonna guess too high, just because they already know that US is super expensive, or they're gonna guess like more based on what it would have cost where they are practicing, and then maybe it's way too low. So I'm curious. People equals free, healthcare equals not free. Yeah, that is the US for you. Whoa. Last month we removed my son's nasal polyps. We paid 35 euros for 2 days of hospitalization. Yeah, whoa, 35. That is like 350 kroners. It's crazy. It's crazy. My girlfriend had a operation not that long ago here in Norway, and she had to pay like, it's called like equity or something, like egenkapital. So something like that, and it was like 400 kroners. She was also in there for 2-3 days or something. But really quickly, just so you know, like Norwegian healthcare, I'm not a professional here, so I don't know everything. I'm not like these guys, doctors. But I've been here. I've been growing up here. I've been in the trenches of Norway. And how it works here, as I understand it, is like you have the first times you have to pay like a part of the cost. So it's like if you go to the doctor might like should have had like in goose marks like 2,000 kroners or something, which is like 200 euros. But you only pay like a little part, just to like give a little bit. So you pay maybe you pay like 20 or 30 euros. But you only do that the first times, and then when you get up to like a threshold, I think it's like around 2,000 Norwegian, which is like 200 euros. Then you're like, then you get the free card. So after that, you don't pay anything anymore. As I understand it, it might be a little bit wrong, but a lot of people that are pretty sick, they have to pay like in the start of the year, they pay a little bit, and then they got the free card for the rest of the year. But then a new year comes around, they have to pay a little bit, then the free card. So it's pretty good, and you never like sink down into insane medical bills. That doesn't happen here. But you might, teeth though, teeth is not part of the body here in Norway, so you have to pay for the teeth by yourself, and that can get a little bit expensive, but not like US expensive, just like a little bit expensive. Okay, let's see.
Let's see. So bill number 1 is cesarean section and the cost to hold the baby. In India, in a very good hospital, it would be around...
What was that?
Section and the cost. So bill number 1 is cesarean section and the cost to...
A cesarean C-section, okay? And the cost to hold a baby. What?
Hold the baby. In India, in a very good hospital, it would be around 4 lakh rupees if you want like the best hospital with or like VIP suite and all that. I'm thinking it's going to be around $4,000.
$4,000. That is his guess. It's probably insanely expensive. But $4,000, that's so much money. Like when you compare it to like Norway, you're capping at like $200, and then everything is free after that. I don't think we paid anything for the when Lintone was giving birth. That was like free. That was 100% free. I'm pretty sure they never billed us for that. So that's free. Oh my god, $4,000.
I think it's gonna be more than that.
I think, you know, it's a surgery. There's an anaesthetist. There's going to be a surgeon. There's the operating theatre. I think it's going to be expensive.
It's probably going to be very expensive. I'm gonna guess like $10,000. $10,000, and that's not even the most crazy I've heard. That is what I'm gonna guess. It's free here as well. Yeah, Berlis, nice.
Let's go for...
Doubt 4K would cover the anesthesia. Mark that dome. Welcome, by the way, to chat. Not even anesthesia.
$800.
Oh,
he guessed 800. Do they know which country they're talking about here? This can't be real.
$3,000, which is not too bad if you ask me. Like we have Indian hospitals which
3,000? Wait, what? 3,000? Is this the America?
charge more than this, so I'm not very surprised by this. This is actually pretty decent if you ask me.
$3,100 to have a C-section. And bear in mind that some C-sections aren't even planned, so this may have been an emergency C-section. So imagine going for a normal delivery and then it being converted to a C-section and then being whacked with a bill of $3,000.
So then,
yeah, it's like you don't plan for a C-section necessarily. And yeah, as he said, imagine just going about life, everything is fine, and then it's like, I have to pay $3,000 right here, right now. Damn.
Then skin to skin after C-section. So basically, what skin to skin means is that when the baby is delivered, we put the baby on the mother's belly so that there could be some one bonding and second heat exchange between.
That should be free.
Between the mother and to the baby to keep the baby warm, basically. So there's a lot of evidence saying that this is a very ideal thing to do, but apparently they charge them for that. I have no idea why.
Yeah, it was Max. Yeah. Let's be happy for that. We got that for free. Oh my god, or you got that for free. It wasn't a C-section for us, but yeah, you know what I mean. You want to hold your own baby? Have to charge you for that? Yeah, that is fucked up.
So I don't know how much they charge. I'm guessing around $10, $20.
Yeah, it is kind of like nasty that they're charging for it, you know. But I'm gonna guess like $15 because then I'm over his there, and if it's higher than that, I won, right?
because you shouldn't be charging for this, but let's see.
First of all, I'm surprised that they're charging for this.
I agree.
But I'm going to guess it's going to be very cheap. Let's say $40, $50.
$39.35.
He almost nailed it 100% there. Wow.
I don't know why they're even charging for that. Okay, not very expensive.
That is like one pizza here in Norway and a little bit more. So it's not super expensive, but it's expensive. Like pizza here, expensive. Holding your baby, expensive. Wow.
Expensive.
$40, okay. Well, I think it's pretty astonishing that they've charged for that anyway.
Yeah.
But at least $40 is kind of reasonable.
I feel like there's probably a sketch out there of like the US medical system where it's like you go into a hospital and everything costs money. It's like, oh, you want to sit on a chair? Well, that's $200. Oh, you wanna talk to someone? That's $300. It must be a sketch like this somewhere because this is just horrendous, you know?
Here,
Ay, ay, ay.
hold your baby, and that'll be $40, please.
Sirach, you're funny.
Next one. Inpatient lactation consultation level 1, because this is going to be like advanced nurse practitioner or like a doctor giving the consultation on how to, breastfeed the baby.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be around $100.
For a consultation like this, which is probably just some advice, let's assume they've paid $100.
I'm gonna say 101. Big brain, big brain. If it's like over, I'm gonna win. But this was so good when we got like our daughter. They were really nice and really helpful. It's like 𝗦liche𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀 was in the hospital bed or like around the hospital bed for maybe a day, walking around a little bit, of course, after the baby was born. But they were like helping her get started with the breastfeeding. And you had this like thing you could like drag on, this wire thingy to get help. And they said, just use it once too many instead of once too little, and just use it whenever you're like gonna start to breastfeed or whatever. We're gonna be there and we're gonna help you and we're gonna tell you about things and stuff like that. So it wasn't like emergency. It was just like, we're gonna do this, man. And they were so helpful. They were so like super duper kind and helpful. So many great tips, and I'm just like in shock how well that was going. And they were like 24 hours a day. It was like 24 hours a day. You could ring that bell and they would help you. And you also got like, if you were having issues getting enough for yourself, they had like a breast milk bank where other moms have like donated breast milk. So you can get a little bit of that to like supplement if you didn't get it going super fast. Everything was free. It was free. It was insane. Even one of the ladies worked like, they work like, I think it was 11-12 hour shifts so that they can be like more there for the same like baby. Because people aren't there for like very long, maybe a day or two. So they want to like have the same people as much as possible. It's wild. And here they're charging like probably a shit ton just to like, oh, how do I do this? Oh, you do X, Y, and Z. And just like, bye-bye, good luck. They're probably not even there for more than an hour.
$61. This is actually quite affordable by American standards, if you ask me. I'm being very honest about it, because I think even Indian hospitals, a lot of them charge this much. So I'm not very surprised.
Let's compare this to the costs in the UK.
Did it say?
This is actually...
To assume they've paid $100.
$61. I'm pleasantly surprised after they're guessing $101. It's like, they shouldn't be charging for this, I think. But it's the America. But 61, it's probably not worst. I feel like I'm colored by watching like insane medical bills on the internet. Where it's like, oh, I just tore a little bit of my finger and I need to go to the hospital. $10,000! It's just like insane numbers. So this is more like, it sucks and it's expensive, but it's not like the...
This is actually quite affordable by American standards, if you ask me. I'm being very honest about it, because I think even Indian hospitals, a lot of them charge this much. So I'm not very surprised.
Let's compare this to the costs in the UK. So the C-section would have been free, the skin-to-skin would have been free, and the lactation consult would have been free as well.
Yeah, same here. Would have been $0.
Next up, this patient presented with stomach pain to the ED, was given morphine, a PPI, a CT scan, and released 6 hours later. So the cost for the emergency department visit, let's guess, a couple $100, $3,000.
Whoa. $3,000 for just going into the emergency department. Pharmacy fees are $92.
This is wild.
That's okay, affordable. So ultrasound scan, in India it would be around 1,500 rupees. So that's what, like $20-25?
The ultrasound scan, bear in mind that's just a jelly scan. The actual cost of that is just the cost of the person doing the scan. So let's go for $100.
What is this gonna be? It's the ultrasound scan. And it's probably not gonna last for long either. It's probably just like and talk a little bit and then you're done. Maybe you have to like with the thing you put on the skin first, and then you're pretty much done. I'm gonna guess $62.
$1,000.
$1,000. Now I was like trying to be more realistic here. $1,000. Did they sit there with the ultrascan machine for like 10 hours? Sons of guns. That is not okay. That is so expensive.
$10. To have an ultrasound scan cost $1,000. That's insane. We give them out like sweets here.
So let's see how much it is. It's gonna be expensive. $1,000 for an ultrasound. Are they crazy? $1,000 like
that is a good question, honestly. Do they throw out the whole machine? The whole ass machine out after? Yeah. Yeah, it's like you could just buy a new machine every time you have a patient.
20,000 rupees. Like you could literally get like some 30-40 ultrasounds in India for that cost. This is very expensive. Maybe this is because it involves a radiologist. But even then, they shouldn't be charging so much. $1,000 for a ultrasound is crazy.
For the CT scan, the CT scan surely has to be more expensive than the ultrasound scan, which was $1,000.
Yeah, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not super into what a CT scan actually is. But I'm thinking like it's the machine. You lay and then you lay in it and you just like into it, and you're claustrophobic, and then out again. And they did some pictures. They have to look at the pictures. Do you have anything here? This is like a wizard, Harry. They use magic on the pictures to try and figure out if there's anything wrong there. They have witches, in America. Computer tomography, X-ray in tube. Yes, X-ray in tube. So I'm guessing like it's gonna take a little bit longer. It's a big machine. They probably need to make some money on that machine. So I'm gonna guess $2,500. No, $1,500. $1,500.
So I'm gonna say $1,500. I just had to read it twice. $6,800.
$6,800. Now we're getting into like a territory that is like, this is reckless. This is reckless. I'm thinking like this is a used car. This is 2 used cars, maybe even 3 used cars. I felt like it was so expensive. I bought my first car for $2,000, and I used it for 2-3 years, and it was pretty great. It was like, yeah, it wasn't great. But anyway, this is really expensive. That's a lot lot of money.
Dollars.
CT is cheap compared to MRI. Blah, 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 blah. Like, I guess people in the US must make a little bit more money, right? To keep up with this. It's like, okay, you don't pay as much in taxes and stuff like that, but then you get it back. Or like the thing, it's more up to you. Like if you have to put aside a lot of money, buy insurance, stuff like that. I don't know. This is goddamn crazy.
Scan.
$6,867. $6,000 for a CAT scan.
Wait, these people have insurance? This is like after insurance? Nah, you can't say that, Fox. But I guess you're an American. Oh, we go with the lifetime debt? Fudge, man. This is so fucked up. But it's probably such a difficult system to fix and to do anything with. in America, they get a fifth credit card to pay for it. Toki tok tok. That is probably true. There are medical claims adjusters which can review the bills and argue for reductions. Oh, so there is a system for that. The median American worker brings home an estimated $54,000 a year. I think the isn't the average here in Norway, but it's a median average is not necessarily the same. But I think it's like the median is around $45,000 or something. I think it's a little bit lower. And then we also pay like very quickly you can end up paying like 34% tax. But you don't get these situations though. You don't have to pay like you don't have to pay with your life to get on the CT scan, you know? Oh my god.
I think in India it would cost like a maximum of $200, even at a very good facility with very good.
Here it would be free.
And I think in the UK, here in the UK, it's free because it's done only if you need to do it and the trust pays for it. Basically, the government, the NHS pays for it. So here is $6,800.
Wow.
Right.
I just can't get my head around the fact that this CT scan was $6,800. I ordered like 5 of them today for free.
Radiology is $445. Maybe a doctor consult, but $445 for a consult is quite a lot. But I think this also, radiology also includes.
But I guess it could also like, yeah, maybe it's gonna say it, but include like looking at the pictures, doing an assessment. Maybe he spent more than an hour on it, you know? And then he's like a very important person, you know? VIP person. It's expensive. Probably.
An X-ray, chest X-ray, abdominal X-rays and other X-rays because this guy was in a trauma. So if that was the case, $445 is still not justified, but it's okay. But if it's just the doctor's opinion, $445 is crazy money.
The total for this visit to A&E was $12,500. Imagine having stomach pain, going to ED, having these scans, getting some morphine, getting...
And it's like you weren't even that sick. It's like you had stomach pain. Stomach pain can be a son of a gun, and it can be super painful, and I think it was the right thing to go to the doctor. But I'm thinking like, if I had cancer 4 times, then I would be like, shit, this is very, very much worth the money, man. Or maybe cancer 1 time. It doesn't, yeah, we're not gonna compare, but like for a quick like checkup to check out things, this was a lot. Oh my god. Stomach pain could also be 1 day from death. Oh, 𝗦cie𝗰𝗶, holy shit. Yeah, I think it's a good idea to check it out anyway, so I didn't mean that you shouldn't check it out, but like but I guess you can't think like that when it comes to like medicine, which is like making everything more difficult. But I was thinking like, am I getting my money's worth here? But your life is worth all the money you have and a little bit more, right? So you are getting your money's worth, but it just sucks, man. It just sucks.
A PPI and being discharged with them saying actually it's just gastritis, which doesn't need anything further doing, and then getting a bill for $12,500.
If you don't have insurance and you have a bill like this, that's going to take away like a quarter of your year's salary for just this 1 day, like some 6-hour visit to the emergency department. And that's crazy. Bill number 3, this patient fell while rock climbing and broke his neck, back and ankle.
Whoa.
Had 2 operations and a week in a hospital.
Whoa.
This guy, I hope he has.
Broke his neck and back. That is brutal. And also like 1 week in a hospital. I feel like with that kind of accident, you would maybe need to be in the hospital even longer and for a recovery time.
As insurance.
I don't know.
So this is from 2016, so fairly recent. Laboratory services, $18,000.
Laboratory services. So it's lab work for $18,000. Holy shit, did I check every blood cell in his body?
A lot, but let's see. Diagnostic therapeutic imaging. This guy has had a lot of fractures. So I think there'll be a lot of x-rays and a lot of CT scans or CAT scans, like the Americans call it, involved. And a lot of ultrasounds involved. So if the labs took $18,000, I'm just taking a wild guess that imaging would have taken like some $25,000 at least.
Whoa.
But let's see.
The imaging, so I don't know how much imaging this patient had. We know a CT scan is costing $6,000.
Yeah, $6,000 for a CT scan. And if they did like a bunch of CT scans, it's like 6,000, 6,000, 6,000, 6,000. I'm gonna guess 35,000.
So I'm gonna go $10,000.
10,000.
It's actually funny how expensive this is.
95,000.
$95,000? What? That is like half an apartment, you know? That is just fudged up kind of money. And people spend their entire life paying for an apartment, man. Okay, maybe not the entire life, but people spend a long time paying down on an apartment. And for this, you get like the small apartment, not the big apartment, but still, it's a shit ton of money. It's a shit ton of money. Oh, you could buy a Tesla Model X for this, basically. In Norway. Probably cheaper other places. Damn!
So just for imaging...
Holy shit, yeah, it's just for imaging as well? It's not for the entire thing? Oh!
Charge him $95,000.
Your apartment was $55K.
That's like more than a resident's salary in the US.
Aye.
God. But just 1 week.
$95,000 for imaging. Did they give this man the MRI machine?
Yeah, did they give him the machine? Oh, 𝗦liche𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀, let's see. We were in Norwegian hospital for 1.5 weeks when daughter was diagnosed for diabetes. We paid nothing. That is so good. And we got all equipment to her for free. That is Norway, man. That's like how it should be. Like, I feel like you almost like have a right to live, you know? You have a right to like, at least that the world tries to help you. Oh my God. And I'm glad you got such a good treatment in Norway. Being a Dane and all, you know? It's like, Danes, man. It's Swedes. But I guess you're pretty good people too. I love you though.
I would be disappointed if I went to hospital, paid $95,000 and didn't get the MRI machine to come home with.
Yeah. It's crazy. Next, pharmacy. Basically all the drugs, all the medicines that they would have used. I'm guessing
he's probably needed a lot of drugs, right? Because of like breaking the neck and the back. Holy moly, that must be so painful. Oof. But it shouldn't be that expensive.
Because he was in the hospital, he would have had multiple surgeries. So I'm guessing around $10,000.
I'll guess 15.
But
I'll up you.
It's the US, so it's $33,000.
33.
It's just a little $33,000 worth of medication for his 1 week's worth of inpatient stay.
So
that is so much. That is so much. Almost the same as we paid for our electric car, man. That is for drugs for 1 week. Holy shit, it's expensive to be a drug user. It's very expensive. Holy shit. Now I understand why people can't afford apartments and do drugs. Wow.
So ICU, he was charged $30,000, which is okay because ICU, there's so much happening. You need to pay so many nurses, so many doctors, and there's so many equipments, everything you have to pay for it. So $30,000, even though it's more by American standards, I think that's okay. But then EKG services, so electrocardiogram.
Oh, that is about the heart, right? That they check the heart thing.
ECG. I don't know why they call it EKG. Electrocardiogram with a K. But basically, EKG services is basically taking ECGs. And because he was in the ICU, I think a lot of ECGs would have been done. In India, it'll be like some 300 rupees for an ECG. So it's what, like $5 or whatever. But in US healthcare, everything is expensive. So let's see how much they billed him for EKG.
Okay, it's probably like 1,800. I'm just going off like the ultrasound and the CT scan earlier. No, that is more expensive. Maybe 950. It's under an ultrascan in my brain. But maybe it's not. I don't know. I know nothing. $9,000? Whoa, I would have gone for like multiple CT scans instead. I'm just kidding. It's not gonna... Oh, wait. The CT scan was 6,000 maybe? Okay, maybe one CT scan. But it's probably not doing the same thing. This is so expensive.
$1,000.
What the...
Like, how many ECGs did they take? Like, how can someone take ECGs worth $9,000? And like, literally, he was probably on like ECG like throughout his whole stay or something. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. This is weird.
EKGs in the UK we call ECGs, and actually the cost of these shouldn't be much because you just stick some stickers on and then do an ECG.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna guess that this was $1,000. $1,000 would be a lot for this. It's just a cheeky $9,000. That's ridiculous.
And then the emergency room, because he came into the emergency room, I think they would have charged him for the emergency room services, the doctors, the nurses and all that. So I think based on the previous bill, I would guess around...
It's a room cost as well. Of course there's a room cost. You're at a hotel here. Or at a very expensive hotel. 3,000, 5,000. Everything is so goddamn expensive. So I'm guessing like 8,000. Just a horrific number.
$3,000, $5,000. Let's see.
Yeah, typical UK.
See a room. What? 30,000? Dude, what are they gonna do for $30,000? It's like half of a resident's yearly salary in the US. What are they gonna do with $30,000? Again, this is daylight robbery if you ask me.
Yeah, it is daylight robbery. Just like Honestly said in the chat here. I don't understand how people haven't gone to jail for those prices in the US. I agree. This is just too wild. Like, normally, I'm a pretty, like, open market kind of person. Like, I really do like that there's a lot of freedom going on. I like that. But I don't like when things go overboard. We can't have that. That is fucked up. That is fucked up. That is very fucked up. Like, if you're having, like, a car wash, I think it's okay that another car wash down the street can do like, shit, I want to take your customers. I'm going to charge like 10% less. And then there can be like a little fight between those two car washes. And I can come there with my car and I can say, holy shit, I'm getting a cheap car wash. Like that kind of free market. I like. But like when it comes to like butchering people, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. This is fucked up. It's very fucked up.
There's no other way to describe this.
The emergency room was just another $30,000. Imagine going to A&E and paying $30,000.
What? The internet says an EKG machine cost 1K? They should really get a couple of EKG machines to go home with. Just like, yeah, just take this machine. You paid for it. You paid for it 9 times over. So, but you're gonna get 5 of the machines, but because like, we'll about half will go to pay our salaries. But I think it's only fair that you get 5 EKG machines. That is so fucked up.
I actually can't even get my head around how much that is. I really hope this patient had insurance.
Yeah, me too,
the
man.
Surgery costs.
It's just like, I'm getting like angry and a little bit depressed because I'm like going a little bit too deep into the emotion when it comes to this, because these amounts of money, one part of me is like, haha, that is funny amounts of money. But another part of me is like seeing a person that didn't pay their insurance bill because of some reason, and then they're stuck in this debt for the rest of their life because it's so much. It's just like adding up to be such an insane amount that is just too much. It's just too much. It's not even haha anymore. It's just cry. It's sad.
The scans are that much. The surgery has to be way more. So I'm gonna go $50,000.
Again, this guy was in surgery, 2 surgeries. So that would have been a lot of money. And following the theme, I'm gonna guess $100,000 for the surgery.
100,000. Oh, that is like 1 million Norwegian kroners. And an apartment normally costs between 2 and like whatever you want to pay for an apartment. But for 2 million, you get like a really small apartment. But like 3, you get a pretty decent sized one. So that is like 100K times 2, and you get an apartment. This is just so much.
$47,000.
Oh, don't forget, employees has to pay for educational debt. Yeah, that's a good point. I saw, or like Lintone, my girlfriend, just yesterday, she said it was, or like she's like, dentist secretary, and she was like, or like there is a pretty famous Norwegian like TikToker that is like a dentist, and she comes from the US, and she shared like on TikTok or whatever, she was like, oh yeah, here you can see me graduating and I'm crying, but I'm not crying because I'm happy. I'm crying because I'm like $400,000 in debt or something, and then she's gonna start her life. And it's just like, oh my God, like that is just so much. That is like the house on that we have for sale right now. That is like $490,000, and I feel like that is an amazing amount of money. It's just so much money, and we have a loan on it, of course, but or like not of course, but we do. And that kind of an investment is something that here in Norway, it's very normal to pay down over 30 years. And it's like the biggest expense you have, basically, is paying for your house. Oh, but people here are paying that just because of their education. And then you're gonna go out there and get yourself like a place to stay and something to eat and shit like that. That is just, oh my God. Oh my God, this is so much money.
Not too bad comparing it to, you know, like how much like...
Yeah, it's like you pay 47,000 for the surgery, but you pay like, what was it, $30,000 just for the medicine, and like $9,000 for an EKG or the EKGs.
Imaging and all took is weird, right? Like imaging is $95,000 and surgery, which involves so many doctors, specially trained doctors, so many nurses, anesthetists, everything is $47,000. So I think they're, you know, ripping people off in the imaging and diagnostic services, and they're cutting costs in surgery.
So all in for that operation was $50,000 for the surgery, and also $16,000 for the anaesthetist, $4,000 for the recovery. So that operation itself cost $70,000.
So the total charges for this guy who broke his neck while rock climbing, I should have been more careful, but it is $367,000.
$367,000? That is so much dollars. So many dollars. I'm getting goosebumps again. It's so many goosebumps here. I'm turning into a goose.
$435.80, and
it's disgusting,
more
you know,
than most junior doctors'
net worth.
Even a lot of mid-range doctors' net worth in India and even in the UK. Doctors make a lot more in the US, but even then, this is a ridiculous sum of money for one accident. $367,000 is like someone can literally retire with that kind of money, right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine going to hospital, staying for a week, and being hit with a bill of $367,000? That's going to take decades to pay off if you don't have insurance.
What the
In the
fudge?
UK, that would have been free at the point of contact.
And I feel like the repercussions of this, or whatever the word is, I'm not sure what is the right word, but it's like after you have that bill and you're starting to pay it off, what about like your psyche after that? It must be pretty difficult, like finding like happiness and motivation to work, make money, and all of this, because you're just paying for like a previous accident over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's like you are here, and then you just like all the way down, and then you have to work your way up to zero, and it's so like frustrating. Oh my God. But you're free. You don't need you don't need to be happy. Yeah, as long as you're free. The land of the free. True. It's not even haha anymore. It's cry. Ole Herland 2023. Yes, 2023. I accidentally said that in Norwegian. Sorry.
And finally, we've got
another bill.
We've got another bill.
No, I can't take it.
Which has been blacked out, but cost $2.5 million for a hospital stay. We live in the UK.
Yes, $2.5 million. That is like, whoa, that is like rich people money, if you ask me.
So there's this one bill that just says patient responsibility. What patient owes to the hospital is $2,450,000.
I feel like you should go out with a wing of the hospital there, with all of the machines and all of the people. Maybe you should get like, you should have a plaque on the wall. You should get so much for $2 million. $2 million $422,772.45.
$22,772.
It's just so painful.
$2.5 million as a hospital bill. I think this would have given the patient another heart attack and he would have passed away after seeing the bill. I hope he hasn't, but I think he has. And this was made by one of Kiran's friends and it says, "Thank I live in the UK. Yes, thank I'm not in the US. At least when it comes to medical bills."
Yep.
So hope you guys liked it. Make sure you check out Kiran's channel here. And
now, after seeing this, okay, I'll let it play out.
If you like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel here. And I'll see you in the next one.
Oh, yeah.
Till I see you again. Take care. Stay happy. Bye-bye.
This was so painful. I am in absolute pain, and now I'm scared of just traveling to the US, not even living there. Before, I was like dreaming about living there a little bit, just feeling the vibe of the US, because it's a lot of like super interesting things with the US. Like you have like Starbucks at even more places than you have in Norway. And I was gonna do a lot of jokes when it comes to like the US there, but I'm not gonna do it because I'm just sad now.